My friends, the time has come. In this show, I'm gonna give you my portfolio for 2025. Now, this is my crypto portfolio. I'm gonna put $100,000 into this portfolio and I'm gonna, let it ride. I'm gonna show you exactly and I'm gonna guide you through with this portfolio if I make any changes and whatever in the coming weeks and months. Now, I know we've all been waiting for this show for a long time, and I know I've been sitting on it for quite some time. And the main reason is because I couldn't really make up my mind whether we're gonna have this alt season come in, is gonna be only memes, are we gonna have like a complete Bitcoin focus cycle? So I didn't really make up my mind. If you follow me on X, or if you know my content, and you know that I've actually been just in and out of the market, I've been trading a lot, I had a lot of memes that just went up, then I put all the money in Solana. But now I'm restructuring the portfolio, I'm putting $100,000 into this portfolio, and I want to show you exactly why I think this could be the best bid. Now, this video is not going to be the get rich quick and easy video, okay? I have a bunch of tokens. One of the biggest lessons I had learned is diversification. You have to have an approach where you have a little bit of your money in a lot of areas, because there will be different runs and you don't want to be exposed to 2, 3, 4, 5 pirate jacks. This is exactly how I lost over $1 million from the 2021 bull market. So you have to be exposed and then you have to rebalance. I'm going to talk about all that in this show, but just so you know, it's not I'm going to give you 3 tokens to go to $1 million this bull market. That's not that video. So if you know who I am, I'm very happy that you're here. Thank you so much for supporting. Smash the like button. You know the drill. Share it with your friends. Leave a comment what you think if you have taken this portfolio and much more. And if you're returning, welcome here. My name is Fefe. I bring you the best crypto alpha you want to know. I'm going live. I'm on X. I share all my knowledge with you, literally just helping you through the bull market. I've been here since 2016, and I committed. I screwed up 2 times, and I committed to not do it again. And since making it all, losing it all, making it all, I want to help you all. So it is a time. Let's get into it. Number 1, very important, full disclaimer. Nothing is financial advice. All I can do is commit to helping you and show you what I'm doing with my own money. As I said, I am going to deploy $100,000 into this portfolio, and you will be able to track it throughout the bull market, and then we'll see how it does. But of course, nothing I say is financial advice, and only invest money that you can truly afford to lose. But I also believe that if you're scared about investing in crypto and you treat crypto as like this shady shit that I can just put money that I can afford to lose, you are not taking full advantage of the opportunity that's coming towards you. I believe 2025 is going to be the largest, the most insane year in crypto. And I've been here 2017 when ICO mania was happening, 20,000% gains. I've been here 2021, but I'm telling you, with everything aligning, global liquidity, rate cuts, Trump, everything that comes together on a global scale, I do believe that this crypto run is going to be the place to make life-changing money. So let's jump into the portfolio. Couple of things. Number 1, there are a bunch of tokens here, okay? So I'm going to run through maybe one by one. We're going to talk about some of them in a bit more depth, and I'm going to just give you my reasoning. Very important as well. I will tell you exactly how you can get access to this Excel sheet, so stick around. I'm going to give you access. You can just copy this to yours, and then you can just fill in your entry prices. I'm going to give you the prices that I do believe is going to be worth buying it at. So I do believe a dip is coming, as I told you about. I do believe that we are going to see a flush. Maybe this week, maybe next week, maybe a month from now, I don't know. But I know that at some point we're going to have a 30-40% liquidation peak. If you follow my content, you know exactly what I mean. And when that liquidation comes, I think that's the time to actually deeply deploy into these portfolios. Now, why am I not deploying now? Is because you can deploy now as well. But if you want to take max potential, you always want to buy the fear. You always want to buy the dip. And the dip has not come yet. So everything looks fine and everything looks overheated. Bitcoin reaching 100,000. Most of these coins have run 70%, 80% in the past 2-3 weeks. Buying here will give you great results as well. But once you can get into 30-40% discount when the big pullback comes, I do believe that's a confirmed buy. And if it doesn't come from here, it's still fine, because if a month, 2 months from now, there is a 30% dip, you might just be able to buy it maybe 5 or 10% higher or at these prices. So I'm not rushing. It's very important when you invest, when you trade. Patience is key. So that said, let's jump into it. Now, number 1, I allocated about 30% of my capital or my portfolio into layer ones. Now, layer ones, the main blockchains that are going to revolutionize the space. You're going to use different chains for different purposes. And I do believe that getting exposure in that that's the proper altcoins that you actually want to get allocation to. The reason why I believe that, and again, if you follow my content, you know I've been back and forth with the fact that if we ever going to get an altcoin rally, but I do believe that with the regulations that we are going to see and the regulations that are coming, this is going to be a place where innovation can foster. So we have seen innovation, you know, especially under Gary Gensler's administration. We have seen, and what we've seen in the States, that and in Europe and some of the places, is that legislation was not clear. People did not dare to actually develop applications and blockchain tech. But now that we're going to have regulatory clarity and certainty, I do believe that these layer ones could be a very great opportunity and will be a great runners. So what I'm looking at is, number one, I want to explain to you how the table works. So if you're going to copy it for yourself, you can do it. I'm going to tell you a little bit later how you can get access to this. It's completely free. I'm going to give it to you completely for free. I'm going to tell you where you can find it. So, full name of the project. Then you see the allocation and the category here, and then you see the ticker. Then you have a CoinGecko link. Then you have a DEX tool link. Then you have an FDV, fully diluted valuation, so you see where the token is standing. Then you have a TLDR and what the token actually is. If you don't know it, you will use this on some of the cases, I think, where you can buy centralized exchange or decentralized exchange. This will show you a couple of things. One, it will show you an opportunity if it's only available on DEXs, that it would be it can be a great opportunity for you to actually get in early, not wait for the dip necessarily. Percentage allocation of my total portfolio, then USD amount. So I actually added 10,000 here, but as I said, I'm going to actually deploy 100,000, but you can write in 1,000, you can write in 100, whatever you want. And then I'm going to talk about, or I added here the pre-dip price. So if the market starts rallying now, you just got to follow through and just add the current price before the dip of the token, so you know, and then it calculates immediately where you can actually get the entry. So for example, if Solana would go to 250, I can just add that and it will tell me what is my first buying area, which is 15% lower, second buying area 25% lower to current price before the liquidation dip, and then third buying area is 35% discount. And of course, you can go all the way down. If it dips more than 35-40%, it is a massive buying opportunity. So now that you understand how the table works, let me jump into it. Number one is Solana. I allocated 5% to my portfolio into Solana. I do believe it is a meme cycle, meme super cycle, partially a meme super cycle. So even though it seems like memes are going to die down now because everybody's focusing on the Dino coins and whatnot, I don't believe so. I do believe memes are going to stay. Phantom is obviously a very popular application. It's being used. It's been here. It will stay here. So Solana is a place to be. And as I went to Breakpoint in Singapore and seeing the developments happening on Solana, even though if memes are going to start slowing down, the chain itself, the usability, the experience, and everything that people gathered, people have their minds, I do believe it is about to stay. So 5% on Solana. Now, I'm also going to go into a little bit details on where I think you could use leverage potentially. So you don't necessarily need to hold this spot, which could be a great opportunity. But 5% of my portfolio goes into Solana. Sui, as another layer one, goes 2%. I allocated most of the other layer ones, just 2.15%. Of my total portfolio. I do believe it's important to get exposure to different layer ones. Sui, extremely fast. A little bit high FDV. If I compare, the reason why I do think it can be great is because if people start picking up Sui, is more like, so Solana is like the developed degen chain, and I do believe that Sui is the less developed still degen chain that we're going to see. It's extremely cheap, it's extremely fast, it's extremely user-friendly, so this is something that could run. I don't think it can reach a Solana, so I don't think it can reach these 140 billion FDV, but I do think that it can pull a 2-3x easy, in my opinion. FTM, again, 2.15%. The reason is because FTM will have the upgrade to Sonic. Sonic is going to be the fastest blockchain if the prophecy is right. And I genuinely believe that FTM can pull a 10x this run. So why do I only allocate 2.15%? It's very simple. Actually, maybe I should go 4% Solana because we're gonna get exposure to Solana, and maybe I should go 3.15% on Phantom because of this. Yeah, so I went 3.15 on Phantom. Phantom is going to be big. Next one is Aptos. Now, Aptos is again very fast, very cheap, and very regulated. So the reason why I like Aptos is because they are already working with governments. I actually talked to the team, love the team as well, great guys. But also the fact that they are talking to governments, they are talking to people that are in power when it comes to regulatory frameworks, when it comes to blockchains and executions on a higher level. You know, we talked about Algorand for a long time. Algorand is doing something similar, but I personally feel like they're failing. If you couldn't pull it off for 3, 4, 5, whatever years, it's not happening. It is not going to happen most likely. So although it could be a great opportunity, I do believe that Aptos is going to be, again, I'm looking at a 10x on Aptos. I'm looking at a current Solana FDV on Aptos and a 5 to 10x on Aptos. Ton, obviously, Telegram. So the chain, Telegram's blockchain. Same scenario. I talked to the team. The fact that they are the chain for an application that has almost 1 billion users, I do believe that this is something you should not miss out on. I do believe that this is a chain that can easily pull, maybe not a 10x. I don't see that 350 billion, but I do believe that it is going to, maybe not this cycle going to pull a 10x, but in a larger scheme of things, I do believe that Telegram and Ton overall are going to be winners. So I do believe it's a great investment. Rune, I do think that you need this as a layer 0. They have great tech. The FDV compared to the product, the working product they've been building in the basement, and it's ready now at 2.8 billion. I do think it's a bargain. I see it pull a 10x. Ethereum, now I don't like Ethereum honestly, but I do think that it is kind of secure. It's been there for a long time. There will be some kind of developments, especially with Trump coming in with his own, whole ecosystem. He's probably not going to use Solana. So what is the second best thing? Maybe he's going to use Aptos, but the most known, especially with the ETFs, I think Ethereum is the place to be. They're probably going to revolutionize or rework the whole staking thing. They're probably going to go down from the extreme amounts down to 1 or even a fraction of an ETH, and that will help the protocol a bit. I'm not a big believer in ETH. The reason why I should not have 5%. I should not have 5%. I'm probably going to put 4% in ETH. You see how good that I'm doing this show here. I'm probably going to put 4% on hold on a second. I'm probably going to put 4%. Let me just refresh this. What is happening here? So I'm gonna put 4% in ETH, and I'm gonna top my Aptos back. So I'm gonna put 3.15 in Aptos. I'm going to put 3.15 in Aptos. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm rethinking the whole thing. Still, you got to have ETH, so I have ETH in there. Bitcoin, not even a question. I don't think I have to spend a lot of time on it. 5% is even too much, I think, because Bitcoin is something that we will deploy back into once the bull market ends. But for now, I do believe 5% is great. I'm definitely taking this on leverage, so 2 to 3x leverage positions, depending on what we can get in. Both ETH, Solana, and Bitcoin are going to be like this, but 5% I allocated to Bitcoin. I do think Bitcoin will pull at least a 2x. So we'll go at least at $250,000 is something that I'm looking at on Bitcoin this cycle. Airweave, obviously this whole idea behind hosting for other chains and facilitating on other chains. Let me just delete this shit. I wanted to bring this down but I think it's just better if we do it this way. I also wanted to tell you, so the way you can actually get this Excel sheet is if you go into my X profile. So it's quite simple. There's a link in the description. You can just go into my X profile, and you have to smash the follow button if you don't do it already, because I give you the best alpha in the freaking world. I mean, if you like what you see and if you like this show, then just smash that and it will be pinned here. And if you're rewatching this maybe a week, 2, 3 weeks from now, if you click on the link in the description of my X profile, it is going to take you to the actual post. So that is how you can get Excel. You can copy that out for yourself. You can download it, and then you will be able to just, edit it and use it for your own benefit. So let me know in the comment section if you like this, and of course share it with your friends and like the show if so. Now, you go in deeper and look at Airweave. So I think Airweave is facilitating storage, permanent storage, and much more. I do think Airweave has a great tech at 1.7 billion FDV, absolute steal. So I do think it's pulling a 10x this cycle, 5 to 10x this cycle. 2.15% of my portfolio goes in there. Maybe I'm gonna take from Bitcoin as well, going down to 3.15 on Airweave. I do think it's a great idea. And INJ, of course, bringing it in. The tech is also fantastic. Interoperability. very, very important. And yeah, the whole DeFi ecosystem over there on Cosmos is great. It's great. Let's go layer 2. So honestly, I don't see any reason holding any. I mean, there are some that could be great, but they didn't make it in my ultimate portfolio. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to date some of the layer 2s and we're going to trade them for short time and whatnot, but nothing that I'm going to hold for, like, you know, for the end of the cycle and like big conviction. I'm going to hold stacks. So the only layer 2s that made it in there, stacks for Bitcoin layer 2. Now it's very important that the reason why this made it in here is because I fell in love with ordinals. I fell in love with Bitcoin when I understood the whole idea behind facilitating stuff and the depth of and the importance of actually doing stuff on the Bitcoin blockchain. I thought that it is absolutely genius. So I do believe that stacks can have it's one of the riskiest ones at 3.8 billion, considering the fact that Bitcoin is here to stay. This is the way you can actually put stuff on chain. 3.8 billion is actually quite cheap in my opinion. Can it pull a 10x? I don't know. Can it pull a 4x? Absolutely. Does it have the potential to pull a 50x? Yes. Will it need 5-10 years? Yes, but I do believe this is a great buy. You need to have exposure. I told about, you know, the meme cycle and whatever, Solana. So I added for DEXs. It's not the best category, but I added Raydium and Jupiter here, an aggregator and liquidity providers. So both Raydium and Jupiter is connected. I'm basing this on the Solana super cycle and the meme super cycle in Solana. So this is in there. I find Jupiter a little bit too expensive at 13 bill, but like, you know, anything can happen. If you look at Solana 140, if Solana goes to 3x, this could easily pull a 3, 4, 5x as well. So it's relatively correlated, but I think this is a great addition. And then talking about Solana and the whole Solana ecosystem, I think Jito as a lending or liquid staking protocol for Solana is a great buy as well, just to get exposure. RWAs, I am a believer, but I do believe that we're going to see more and more. So I think what we are going to see is rather companies using their own chains. So the reason why I'm not that heavily allocated into RWAs is because I think that they are going to use their own chains. So if someone will build something, they will most likely build out their own chains for regulation purposes and whatnot. I don't think that you know, like these major players will come and just be like, hey, let's use Penalty, let's use Ondo, or, you know. I'm not sure about that, but RWA. So I think Penalty and Ondo are great to get a great exposure currently to the RWAs is a great idea. Then AI. So this is a weird one for me as well, because I think I should have much more exposure. You might be wondering, why didn't I put like BitTensor and all these other main big AI protocols? And the reason is because I think I don't want to get like a 2x here. So if I invest in AI and AI crypto, I want to get something that can literally pull a 10, 20, 30x. So Grass, although it's at 3 billion, I do see Grass pulling a 10x. Why? So GetGrass, if you don't know GetGrass, I talked about it for a long time. GetGrass basically is they started off as like a browser extension that you can add, and they scrape the data, scrape the internet, and then resell that data for larger corporations. It's a genius concept, but they scrape immense freaking data. Like I'm talking about, they have probably 350 million users. It's insane. I think it's very undervalued compared to the infrastructure they already have. If the data is true, I do think Grass can pull a 10x, so 2% allocation over there. AI16Z, so here the idea is I like this, that's the truth. So this is like an AI CEO of an AI fund. So like this, the whole idea here is that they made this AI to be the hedge fund manager or the VC manager, and then the AI decides where to invest the money. It's at 400 mil. I think it's cheap. I think it's a great idea if AI picks up. If the AI can deploy, and I do think it's going to happen, into great projects, I do think this is going to skyrocket, can pull an easy 20x. But these are the riskier ones. Now, Based AI and Peppercoin, I talked about them a million times. I am an investor. I love the projects. I do think Based AI, especially now with the mainnet, is actually actually pulling it together at 300 million compared to 𝗏𝗘𝗏 and compared to these major protocols is an absolute steal. So like Base AI, I would actually have wanted to put in a little bit more, but I needed to keep my focus on the decentralized, the diversification. So 300 mil Base AI, an absolute steal. 𝗙𝗥𝗏𝗥𝗧𝗢 connected to Base AI as well, but also, so it's not only there's something called the brains, and to acquire brains, you need to burn 𝗙𝗥𝗏. But not only that, 𝗙𝗥𝗏 is basically the OG Pepe, like the first Pepe coin. So it's also good on the meme narrative. I think both of them are still at 300 and 400 million. Again, easy 10x, in my opinion, easy 10x. But there, so 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗧, for example, is calling for Base AI to be at $100. So I don't know if that's happening, but if that's happening, we're popping champagnes. 𝗕𝗟 AI, again, I'm also invested. One of the largest AI projects on Solana. Very great team, very well connected, in connection with NVIDIA. Very great play. I think at 330 million FDV, absolutely undervalued, especially if I consider the fact that Grass is already at 3 billion valuation. Of course, Grass has a much bigger reach currently, but I do believe that the 𝗕𝗟 AI, considering the team, their reach, their connections, and where they've come so far, it could be a very great add as well. So 2% over there. Gaming, I'll be bluntly honest with you, I am not a big gamer, so I don't know much about gaming. I looked at these, I analyzed and talked to Ren, and I just basically took his word on Super and Prime, so I included both Super and Prime into this portfolio, just as it's a tiny amount. I think it's like it's 2%, but I included in there, and then I included Mocha coin from Mochaverse. I think it's actually called Mochaverse. 𝗙𝗥𝗬𝗪 and their Mocha token. This is on the Mocha brands. They invested in most of the Web3 gaming, like the biggest Web3 games. They basically seed investors in there, and or early stage investors, and they are focusing on, their main focus is this Mocha token and their Mochaverse, which at some point will kind of create this Web3 culture coin and this Web3 ecosystem token that they are working on. Now, why this is especially interesting is because as you see more and more regulation and legislation happening in the States, Mochaverse is planning to do an IPO, initial public offering, where the company itself is like a major multi-billion-dollar company, goes public, and if they pull it off, they will be the first public company with an actual token that is related to the company. So this could be very interesting. At 800 million, I think it's absolutely undervalued, and could be a very great investment opportunity. Again, a lot of things have to fall into place. I'm not big on gaming, but if it happens, I do think Mochaverse is going to be big because they are there in every single game that you play on Web3. So it's going to be big, in my opinion. So let's talk about memes. 8% for memes, okay? But overall 18%. So 8% of the memes here are my picks, so to say, and 10% is Murad memes. So Murad is the guy who's like this meme coin god. The reason why I'm buying in there is because I think he has a point, and I do think it's a great opportunity to be exposed of what he's saying. People are listening to him, people are buying into it. He does great analysis on them, but let's not run ahead of us. So it's 8%, so 1% each. Dogecoin, you just need to have Doge. I think it's a great idea to have Doge in terms of, because of the Department of Government Efficiency as well that's happening with Elon Musk and Trump. But in general, Doge as the proper, biggest meme. I do think it pulls a 3x or whatever this run, especially with Elon and Trump. Now there is Doge, which is the Department of Government Efficiency meme that's obviously being launched based on Elon and Trump. It's at 286 mil. Now the reason why I'm buying in, this might be a complete loss. It might be hopefully it's not a complete rug, but the reason why I'm risking here is because I do believe that when Doge runs, and Elon picked up Doge quite well, the discrepancy, the difference between Dogecoin, like the major Doge at 32 bill, and Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, is huge. And if you consider the fact that the whole run of Doge that we've seen is coming from the fact that Elon is talking about Doge and everybody's saying Doge, I do think retail will come in and they will look at it and be like, okay, so there is this Dogecoin, which sounds sounds like the Department of Government Efficiency. And there is this Dogecoin, which is the Department of Government Efficiency, and it's actually much cheaper, and I can buy much more. So I do think this is going to be, or this can be big because of that. Sundog, it's basically the dog coin on Tron. Justin Sun, we know him, 173 mil. If you compare it with Doge, or if you compare it with WIF, it's just a no-brainer. You have to have exposure. WIF, I'm not even going to elaborate a lot more. I think dog WIF hat needs to be in your portfolio. Redo, resistant dog, again, ton. I talked about ton, why I think ton is going to be huge. And this is the resistance dog on ton. What's very interesting, what actually made me really put in here, not only because it's on ton, but also because of the fact that when Pavel was taken to jail, they changed immediately the CoinGecko profile picture to Rito, the resistance dog. And it just shows how memes, and especially the Rito, plays a major role in the ton ecosystem. Again, maybe it's not going to happen now, but at 30 million, it's a bargain. It's literally a bargain. 𝗙𝗘𝗙, I do believe 𝗙𝗘𝗙 has a great shot at becoming this whole news meme media station, which is transitioning from meme media into more traditional, bringing news, covering news in a fun, entertaining way that can really help retail on board and come in. So I do think it's a great buy. I know the guy, obviously, who's running it. I'm invested in very, very early. I'm helping the team as much as I can. Do believe this is a great buy as well. Smoking chicken fish. Honestly, I don't believe in this at all. That's the honest truth. I don't eat meat. I don't eat chicken. So like for me, it's like buying this thing I didn't even want to include. But seeing the massive names like Raoul Pol pushing this thing, like it's just beyond me. So anyway, I just had to include it. 1% I'm putting in there. You know, it's a religion. It's funny. I understand why people would love it. The fucking smoking chicken fish. I don't know. Anyway, it's in there. LFGO, big lover of LFGO. Now, this is my DGenus call at 2.7 million. The main reason why I'm putting my money on LFGO, and I actually talked to the team as well, I'm not involved, but because whatever I post or whatever people, so they have the most resilient, strongest community in the world. Okay, like I'm telling you, like none other community comes close to what the LFGO community. These guys are volunteers. They have volunteer editors who create personalized posts. Absolutely incredible. 2.7 million. This thing should be at 50 to 100 million. I think this is going to be one of the biggest runners when people realize what they really do. And it only takes one person. It only takes one tweet. I'm a big believer. But again, this can go to literally zero. It's a complete CTO, community takeover, completely community run. But this is one of the gems that I think you should hold in your portfolio. Lucky Coin. Honestly here, the reason why I bought it, it might go to absolutely zero. It's just being picked up. This is created in May 2013. So it's like very early, revived in 2024. Dogecoin was forked from Lucky Coin. So this whole narrative behind it. Now 213 million. If 1/4 of the narrative is true, I do believe this can pull a 10, 20, or even a 100x. Now I don't know if it can pull a Doge kind of thing. But, you know, maybe a 10, 20x is doable there. Again, just 1%. Then I go into Murad memes. I don't want to spend time here because, one, if you go into Murad's tweet, I actually included it here. You literally just click here and you will see his tweet. And he says, this is my highest conviction plays. So it's a very simple game for me. I wanted to get exposure to Murad memes. He posted his top 10 picks for 2025, and I just aped. That's the honest truth here. So I got 1% on each. SPX 69,000. I think it's a great idea for the S&P. We overtaking the S&P. 500 million, too expensive for me. But I do think, again, having exposure, maybe it goes to 5 billion, could happen. GigaChad, again, I don't want to spend time on these. MOG, I would hold otherwise as well. It's a great cat coin in my opinion. PopCat, the first cat going to billion, great buy, as regardless of Murad. And America Coin USA, I do think at 26 million, with the fact that America is going to get legislation, Americans will be able to buy in here. I do think it's a fantastic buy and opportunity. Then Base. Now, Base does not have a token, so I was thinking, like, is Base even a thing? And I did a show with Dan, and we've discussed Base, and I do think that Base, because of their user base, obviously this is the chain of Coinbase, layer 2 and ETH, you now we're looking at this and we're looking like, okay, so this is like a layer 2 and ETH you have to bridge to actually use Base. But if you consider the fact that millions and millions and millions of people are coming into crypto through Coinbase, and if you consider the fact that Brian Armstrong is advising Trump on what is really going on in the crypto space, and you understand that from Coinbase, you don't actually bridge to Base because you just simply use ETH on Base, and that's the place you use. You don't have to use the underlying blockchain. You don't have to use ETH and then bridge to Base. You actually use ETH on Base. It could be very big, so I wanted to get exposure here. I put in 12%, which is quite substantial, but I do think Base will have a fantastic run, especially again because of Brian Armstrong and Trump, and because of the whole ecosystem. It's basically free to trade on Base. It's extremely fast. They're coming in with smart wallets. I think it's gonna be a banger. Hopefully this cycle. Lending and borrowing on Base. Again, just trying to get exposure as much as I can. On Base, Arrow, first big DEX on Base, and then I have Alien Base, which is also DEX, but compared to Arrow at 2.2 billion and the Alien Base at 143 million. If they can get like 50% of the market share of Aerodrome, again, I don't hope it's going to happen, but if Aerodrome gets hacked or something happens, and then there will need to be a second place to go, I do think that Alien Base can have a massive catch-up roll. Looking at 5 to 10x here, even possibly 20x, depending on how Aerodrome and how the Base ecosystem grows. Of course, you need to get some exposure to memes. So Brett, I'm not a big believer, but if you're going to come, what do I buy on Base? You buy Brett. So like maybe 6 billion possibly, but you got to hold it. Miggles, I just know that people are behind it. I know the buzz that's going on. It's a complete gamble, but I added Mr. Miggles. Toshi, the first real meme on Base, so you need to hold that. Aerobud. Now Aerobud is just, someone told me about it. Honestly, it's a dog on Base, so I thought it was a great idea to buy, but I don't know much more about it other than the fact that it has a community. It's running. The token looks great. The chart looks great. The holders look great, but I don't know much more about it. And Commonwealth. Shout out to 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗢. This is purely, I like the idea behind its own Base, but it's rather like an investment opportunity where you can have you can hold the wealth token and then invest like VCs through different OTCs and early seed investments that would not be possible through for everyday people, which is quite cool. But I'm betting on 𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗢 here. He's extremely bullish, and I'm betting on him primarily. Now, privacy. I made a show on privacy. The fact that Tornado Cash was deemed, so there was like a court ruling. So privacy is privacy protocols, right? So I think more censorship, more regulation will come in, and as Trump said, he will not allow CBDCs. CBDCs is not going to happen, and I do believe that he will vouch for privacy. Like we will have, especially as he's tearing down the how do I call this? The machine. I do believe privacy could have a run. So I think it's great to have exposure in Monero, Tornado Cash, and Zcash is what I thought. Working protocols all. Monero at 3.5 billion. I'm not really happy about it. 3.5 billion, I think it's a little bit too expensive. Tornado Cash, I think, took a massive hit, so could have a massive catch-up roll as well. Again, a 10x, I see it, 15x. Zcash, 1.5 billion, I think it's decently valued. I do think it can pull a 3-4x, depending on how adoption happens and how these privacy protocols will perform. And then I've got Paid Network here, again, going back to 𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗢, a very good idea on again, early investment. Launching, so like it's basically a launch pad. You stake your own tokens, and then you're able to participate in early in projects that are just launching. So just like acting as an early investor, a VC, or an angel investor, which is quite cool as well. I think it's a great idea. I do think retail will like it. I do think it has a nice narrative and nice people behind it. And then I have cash at 2.5%. And the reason why I have cash at 2.5% is because I wrote here leverage trading account for fun and every day. So do you think you need to get cash? Because if there is something happening, there is like a meme coming up, something that you want to just ride, don't marry it, just buy it a little bit and get it out. I do think that you can round this cash up nicely throughout the times. Now, before you turn this video off, I want to tell you that it's gonna be crucial that we rebalance this portfolio. Now you will be thinking, how many tokens do we have in this portfolio? We have what is it, 10 here, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then you have another 5, so there's like 21, 22, 23, 24. Shit, that's a lot of tokens. 24, that's 33. Shit, it's a lot of coins. 43, 43, 52, 51, sorry, 51, 52, 53, 54. 55 tokens. So it's a lot of tokens. It's a lot of tokens. And I again, like, you might be thinking, Fefe, you're out of your mind. Ren will probably come in and he will say, you're out of your freaking mind. Why would you have 55 tokens? But I know that I really screwed up with not diversifying and then just jumping from narrative to narrative. So for me, this portfolio is something that I really put in and I sell at the top. I sell in May, I sell in April, and I just scale out as it is. But we need to rebalance the portfolio, and rebalancing will mean what happens if, let's say, Aptos goes from 16 bill to 160 billion, and then it will be 5% of my portfolio, 7% of my portfolio. We'll need to rebalance it, but I'm going to guide you through it. This is why it's very, very, very important that you actually do follow me on X. This is literally what I'm going to share with you all my offer. Of course, I'm going to come here, so you have to subscribe to the channel as well, but you will find the link down in the description. You might be wondering, how do you actually buy these tokens and where? If you use, there's two things to do. One is management of these tokens. So if you buy 55 tokens, you might be wondering, how do I manage that? The way I would do it, they're not our sponsors. I do have an affiliate link. I appreciate if you use my link down in the description. But CoinStats is an incredible solution. So what they do, they literally have an opportunity for you to put in your different exchanges, wallet addresses, whatever. And I've shown you, I literally just found 2 wallet addresses online. So these are not my wallet addresses, so I can show it to you. But you can hook up through an API, your Binance, Coinbase, OKX, Trust, 𝗕𝗟, Phantom, whatever that is. You can hook it up directly, or you can literally just copy and paste a wallet address in here, which I really like. Again, they are not our sponsors, but I genuinely enjoy using the product. I can just put in a wallet address here, and as I put in the wallet address, it will show up here. And then I can see all my portfolios, and then it will show me exactly on what chain, how much tokens do I hold total, or I can simply filter for all my different wallets. Let's say you're trading memes and whatever. You can just add all your wallets in here as a wallet address. You just copy and paste your wallet address, you still hold it, and it will show you exactly. So this is the way that I'm managing my own portfolio. This is the way I would recommend you manage your own portfolio, whether you're on different exchanges and whatever. This is a great way to actually do that. The second is, you might want to consider, obviously you got to buy these tokens. So how do you actually buy these tokens is the question. You can use all kinds of exchanges. Again, we've got a bunch of exchange accounts down in the description. I appreciate if you use my link, but one thing I wanted to talk to you about and bring you here as an opportunity is one of our partners, which is VX. If you use VX, the reason why I say this is because I added a lot of buying areas here for all these tokens. So for example, if you look at 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙, right? 𝗙𝗘𝗙 is at $3.6. The first buying opportunity will be at $3 that I believe you should start scaling in, and then 2.7 and 2.3. Now you can add these as limit orders. If you use VX, limit orders are 0% fees. That means you do not have to pay fees to trade on VX if you use limit orders. If you use market orders, you will pay the normal fee that you would pay on any other exchange. But in general, if you use a limit order, you will not have to pay any fees, which is a game changer. Okay, so it's non-KYC, available worldwide. There is a link in the description. And also make sure, if you use any other exchange, I'd really appreciate if you use my link down in the description. But that said, I think this is my portfolio. I know this is my portfolio. Let me know what you think. I cannot guarantee that this thing won't change. I will update you whenever I make changes to this. I'll also deploy, as I said, I'm going to deploy $100,000 into this portfolio. I'm going on holiday now, but I don't know when the market is dumping. Maybe the market is going to dump now. Maybe it's going to dump in 2 weeks. I am going to deploy. based on the dips. I'm going to deploy 10, 15, 20% as I showed you here. I'm going to try to deploy and get this 35% down when that liquidation happens. But even if not, I do believe that this portfolio is the ultimate portfolio for this bull market. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Make sure to follow me on X. You can find it here. I really want to know your thoughts. Make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, come back for another one, and check these 2 videos out because they must be pretty cool. And there is a subscribe button right here that you can use as well. And yeah, guys, truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. And I believe I'll see you in the next one. Take care.